Hello again. Tonight I will be drinking a beer from Broken Rail Brewing Company, St. Mary's, Ontario, Canada. This one happens to be called the Electric Owl. I don't know if you can see that logo, but it's electrifying. It's really cool. Whoever did the artwork there, well done. This beer is 4.5% alcohol. It is a Pink Guava Sour. I I don't know what to expect. I know I'm not a huge fan of sours. I don't really know what guava is. I know what pink is. So, anyways, we're gonna drink it. Sounds good. Oh, it's really clear. There we go. It's got a lot of smell. Got the olfactory working overtime. It is sour. Very unique taste. I don't taste pink. Maybe you can't taste pink. I don't know. Definitely drinkable. Probably more well suited for a hot day. However, it's time for a joke. This couple been married for 40 years, and they go out to a restaurant that they had one of their first dates in, and they go there been there regularly over the years, and throughout the course of dinner they get talking about the good old days, when they were in their early 20s and first dating, and the gentleman says, you remember that one time we were at this restaurant after supper? We couldn't wait to get home, so we went out back and we made love up against the fence in the alley. She says, oh my, I do remember that. She says, those were good times. She says, I'd like to relive those. He says, well, I might be up for it after dinner here. Let's see how it goes. So next to him, in the booth next to him, there's a police officer. He's on duty, and he's overhearing the conversation, and he's like, man, they've been married for 40 years? Like, what? Whew. Well, if they're going to go out in the alley, he said, I should just monitor the situation, like make sure no one disturbs them and make sure they don't get in any trouble. I don't need to watch or anything, but, just make sure everything goes okay for this loving couple. So sure enough, right after dinner, they're winking and linked arms, and they're headed out. And police officer's like, I better follow them. I better make sure they're okay. So they get around into the alley, and the cop, he's kind of standing guard. He's watching the other way. He's watching, make sure no one's coming, no one's gonna bug him, and they start kissing and hugging a little bit, and all of a sudden she's like, okay, I think this is gonna happen. She says, I'm ready when you are. So she up goes the skirt and down goes his pants, and right at the moment of bliss, everything's going crazy. Arms are flying and they're screaming and moaning, and the cop, he's got to look to see what's going on, and he's like, oh my, like, whoa, they're really going at it back there. And this, like, it carries on for a good 20-25 minutes, and the cop's like, man, what? Like, holy crap, these people are in their 60s, like, oh, I can't believe it, he said. And finally, they both roll over on the ground, and they're laying there for a good 10-15 minutes, and the cop, he's still kind of watching out, making sure everything's okay, and he's checking on them, and they're still breathing. So finally they get up and they dust themselves off, and they come out of the alley, and the officer's standing there, and he says, I said, I'm kind of curious. He says, I kind of overheard you guys in the restaurant, and I thought I better just watch out for you, make sure everything went okay for you. He says, but no, he said, that, like, you guys were at it for quite some time there. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, we've still got a lot of passion for each other. And And the police officer says, I gotta ask. He says, like after all these years, he says, what's your secret? And she leans over and says, 40 years ago, the fence wasn't electric. Beer and a joke.